What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the other side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest of cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, as always, I'm joined by Shannon Times.
What's up? What's up?
What's going on? I don't know why the Kings were so weird on that intro. I'm gonna keep it though, but I don't know what happened there. That was weird. Like my brain just was like, you're gonna say it differently this time. But welcome to episode 504. Because 501 was Monday. Yep, 504. So hey, I did it for once. But thank you for continuing to listen to us ramble and rant. Again, Friday episode is everything but cybersecurity. So Monday, Tuesday are topics, Wednesday's discussion, Thursday's Ask a CSP or a throwback episode from our 503 other episodes we could possibly pull from, which won't be anything in the 500 range because that's too new. That wouldn't make sense. And then Friday, again, is everything else, movies, books, games, where we get to unwind. So if you listen to this first, please go back. Like, there was no cyber in that. Well, yes, that's not what this episode's for. But without further ado, how was your week, Shannon?
Man, it was a good week. I actually took in a little bit of media this week, man. That's not usually the case, but so I don't know if you've seen. I think you have seen it actually. That the movie No Hard Feelings with
No hard feelings.
Jennifer Lawrence. She has to date this kid that's going up to college.
No, I've seen the trailer. I did not watch the movie.
Hilarious, man.
Really?
This movie is hilarious. I was just like, you've got to be kidding me. Yeah,
Huh.
that's
Okay.
a good one. It's on Netflix now. But yeah, that one is one you're just like, wow, this is crazy. Like even the trailer where he goes to punch the guy and punches her in the throat and she can't breathe. Like, I know it's coming and I chuckle every time. Like and
Huh.
even in the movie, I was like, oh, I know this setup. I was like, okay, don't laugh, Shannon. Shannon, don't laugh. I still chuckled at it. I still laughed at it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
no,
saw the trailer and I was like, well, if this is all the good, like this trailer's probably all the best stuff. So I was like, I'll pass. But
no.
okay.
There is more in there that you're just like, oh, that they can't put in the trailer, right? Because
Okay.
it's very R-rated, like the stuff they say and do in there, like it's funny. But yeah, that's a good one. That's a must watch for people that haven't seen that one. But you gotta like comedy, right? You gotta like comedy, you gotta like a little bit of raunchy too, you know what I mean? But that's a good one, No Hard Feelings. I also watched this other thing called Old Dads. It has Bill Burr in it. It had Bill Burr, Bokeem Woodbine, and Bobby Carnival, I think is the guy's name.
Okay.
These old dads, like they're in their 40s when they have young kids. Hilarious, man. I love Bill Burr anyway, right? Because Bill Burr is one of those, like, he's just like, he takes it on the chin, right? He's like, hey, like with the whole, because like you remember, we had that stretch there where, Black Lives Matter and all that stuff. And he was like, he went on SNL and was like, hey, we need to take our medicine. You know what I mean? Like it was just wild. Like he's very self-deprecating.
Mm.
And this is kind of real life because I want to say he does have a young child at home. Like Bill Burr's like, I want to say mid-50s or something like that. And he's got a
Yeah.
young child at
Yeah.
home.
Because they Lance brought it up. I remember he had the SNL skit that made people so mad. The code intro where he's talking about uh uh white women and like people were livid. They were trying to cancel him because of it. And I was like, that is hilarious,
Yeah,
actually. But
yeah. Yeah, on SNL in his monologue, he was like,
yeah,
"Hey, we need to take our medicine and sit down." You know what I mean? But like,
right.
so for people that are not in the know, though, he is in an interracial relationship. So his
Yeah.
wife is black and he is white. But he goes at everybody. Like he doesn't shy away from it. You know what I mean? He gets on black people, Asian people, white people. Like he's across the board. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bill Burr is just hilarious to me. But Old Dads is the name of it, and it's hilarious, man. It's
Is it
funny.
a show or a movie?
It's a movie. It's a movie
Okay.
on Netflix. But like as I'm watching it, I'm like, this is me. Like this is how
That's
I
you.
feel about things. Like some of the stuff he says to people that people say to him, I'm like, yo, this is how I would be. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's a really good one too. So anybody that's a Bill Burr fan, you will definitely enjoy this. But it's called Old Dads is the name of it.
Might
So
check that out. Yeah, because
yeah.
I don't have, I guess my youngest is 8, right? So I'm just outside the pocket of that, but I'm right there where I probably could still grasp most of it.
Oh, I don't know, man. Like, yeah, I don't know. You'll grasp it for sure. Like, I think just our generation is like how this is. Like some of the stuff he goes
Okay.
into, like his son is going, not to spoil too much. His son goes to a private school and he does something that upsets everybody. So when he does his apology, he's going to apologize to the principal because he says it to the principal. The principal's like, no, 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 we do all this in public. So then he's out there with people that weren't even at the event. And he even says that. He's like, yeah, I'm here to apologize for the 4 of you that heard it and told it to the other 20. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, but like everybody's there. And like they all have these complaints that just have nothing to do with what he did. But it's like, it's kind of new age stuff that you're just like, come on, man. You know what I mean? Well, at least
Right.
me. I was like, really? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, come on. But yeah, it's a funny movie. But again, like if Bill Burr is not your cup of tea, maybe you won't like it. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. So it was good to me. Um, let's see. One of the other things, Invincible. So I'm caught up on Invincible, and
Yeah.
I didn't know until you. I can't remember if it was you or Levon said they're in a break right now. It's not going to come
Yeah.
out
It
until
was me. I was
24.
sad.
Yeah. I was like, what? Like it's getting good. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
this is great. Like, cause like, hey man, Invincible, they bought the heat in their latest episode, man. Like, yeah, blood everywhere, like intestines out everywhere. Like, I just
Yeah.
how
It was it evisceration. They
yeah,
eviscerate people
yeah,
all
yeah.
the time.
Yes. Love it. Love it. Love it. Um, but yeah, the way this one ended, and I just I have my theories on how it's gonna go, but
Yeah.
you gotta wait till 2024 for it to pick up again, apparently, which saddens me, right? Because like you already got the material, like drop it. You know what I mean? Like it's not like you
Right. I
dropping
think maybe there was a delay because of the strike caused some issues.
it. So they really don't have the last 4 or 6 episodes created yet. I don't
I think they created well, so I think it was part. I think they were in the process of doing the other stuff, and they had to take a break or something. I think that's what caused the issue. Like
uh,
they have all this stuff. They just like in the middle of producing, they were just like shut it down,
so
cut the
post
hard line.
yeah, get the axe. So it's post-production stuff that has to be
Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah,
okay. Okay. Then I'm not mad at it. I thought they had like it's in the can, right? That's what they say that's what they say in Hollywood, guys. It's in the can. You know what I mean? So it's like if you already got it, then just put it out there. You know what I'm saying? But all right. Well, if it's still post-production stuff, yeah, I want the animation to look good when you eviscerate someone and it
right.
like it's supposed
Well,
to.
I want it to be as HD as possible.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. I'm not as upset now then, I guess. But yeah, Invincible, that was a good one. And that show is really starting to get good. So I hope they keep down the same path they're on right now. Like, don't slow it up and give me more story. You know what I mean? And then
Right.
ramp it up again. Like, all right, you hit the high note. Let's keep that going.
Well, I think they have to though, because based upon like not a lot of it, but like based upon the end of that one, now they have to fill in like what is he talking about? So I think
Yeah.
they have to do a little bit of that.
I don't want too much of it. I
Not too
don't.
much though.
Yeah.
Just give me enough to get back to the visceration.
Like with my theory, it doesn't require much. Like what I think the theory is, like it does
Yeah.
not require
Like give
much.
you like half an episode and then
Mhm.
go right back into it.
Yep. All right, let's get back at it again, Mark.
Yeah.
You know what I
They
mean?
they so because I didn't want to spoil myself. Like I didn't read Invincible growing up or whatever, or like I don't know growing up would be the I just never absorbed the material because I don't think it's that old, to be honest with you. Um, but my understanding from like the little things I have been watching, like Easter eggs after the fact, to not spoil myself too much, but it's accelerated from the comic. Like so, what I've been reading is they've sped things up. Like we're seeing stuff that's further in the comic quicker, as well as they're fixing some stuff. Like they're doing like a little bit of retconning, like things that didn't really go where they wanted it to go. They're making tweaks to make it so like we're getting a new experience basically. It's like it's not all new material, but it's not landing like the comic did. Like they're improving upon the material. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm down. I just need you to do it faster.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
not speed through the story, but I need you to not take breaks.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Okay, that's interesting. We'll see. Right, we got to wait till 2024 to see how they're gonna
yeah.
implement. But yeah. So one of the other things I watched, excuse me, that was on Prime was this documentary Bye Bye Barry. So it's about Barry Sanders, right? And this interests me because I to this day still say Barry Sanders is the best running back to ever play the game. Like no disrespect to anybody else, no disrespect to the Walter Paytons, the Jim Browns, the Adrian Petersons. That's kind of the new age folks, right? I think
Right.
he was the best, but Barry Sanders, like he did the most with the least.
Mm,
But this documentary was a little disappointing to me because it didn't shed any light on anything. Like this was supposed to be him saying, "This is why I walked away from the game." and he never gave a true 100% answer on it,
Like a
right?
definitive answer.
Yeah, like
Hmm.
like and even if what he's saying is actually true, which I doubt, like I think it's one of those things where he doesn't want to come out and say the truth because the perception would be, oh, you're just being selfish at that point, right? Because I don't he wasn't chasing numbers or anything like that. Like they talked about, and they go back to like Pee Wee League Barry, like old interviews with his father and things like
Yeah.
that, and like talk about how he's just like, I do it for this reason, right? Like there was a point where he was going to break a record, and he was like, no, let the other guys play. We're ahead by so much, you know what I mean? Like he just wasn't about that. So he wanted to win. Like his thing is, yeah, I want to win, right? And he just didn't think he could do that anymore. But I think he just didn't want to say, you guys surrounded me with a terrible team. Like I did not want to play and keep losing games like this, like with these players. Um, Again, this is just Shannon Tynes saying this, right? Like
Right.
this is not anything that he said, because his reasoning for it was a little different, and it didn't really shed too much light on anything for me. Like it was good to see some of the old clips and whatnot of stuff that he did. I was like, oh yeah, you are just re-cementing to me why I think Barry was the best to ever do it. And I'm not even a Detroit Lions fan. Like that's the thing, right? Like I'm not a Lions fan, but like
Right.
I got the opportunity to watch Barry Sanders, and I'm just like, this dude is the best. Like he did the most with the least. You know what I mean? Like he could have stayed on and just suffered through it for a few more years and just had a rushing record that just would have been unapproachable. You know what I mean?
Hmm. See
It,
what you're saying. Right.
like he was like, nah, I'm done. You know what I mean? So for me, it didn't really answer a lot, but it's what it is, right? So the other thing, one of your suggestions, Scavengers Reign.
Oh no.
I don't know, man.
Didn't do it for you?
I watched 3 full episodes. I got into the fourth, and I was just like, I can't do it anymore.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
like so like the animation, like so I should have, I don't know. The animation is very Aeon Flux, right?
Mhm.
Which I like, but Aeon Flux was an assassin that was going out there handling business, right? Like
Right, right. It's
getting
not
a
enough,
lot
not
of
enough action. You
yeah,
bought that action. I got you.
and I'm about that action, boss. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, it wasn't. And for me, like they did a lot of quick switching between stories. Like if you look at it, it's like 2 minutes on this story and 2 minutes on this story.
Right.
And switch back to this story. Like that was too much. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. So like I got into the fourth episode, and like maybe I looked at it. It was like 7 minutes left in it, and I was like, I can't do it. Like
Is it
no,
done?
oh wow. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So Scavengers Reign was not for me. Let's see. There was a comedy special I watched. It was Shane Gillis, Beautiful Dogs. Hilarious.
Okay.
This is not for the faint of heart. So, like when I say for the faint of heart, like anybody who is easily offended, do not watch this. Like, like so this guy. So, like I somewhat remember hearing about him. This was the guy that was hired on for SNL a few years ago, and then they fired him before he actually got on the show because of some
Oh
stuff that
wow.
on a podcast before that they didn't know about. Like he said some racist things. And like as almost every comedian will, right? Like I get it, right? Do it from a sense of humor. Like I'm willing to forgive. But this special is hilarious, man. Shane Gillis, Beautiful Dogs. And again, you cannot be thin skinned. You cannot be thin
Mm.
skinned. This one, like it's just it's hilarious, but uh it's funny to me. Like he has a bit in there where he talks about he can see himself turning to a certain political affiliation. He's like, I just feel it. He's like, he's just trying to keep it down. It's just like a werewolf inside me. That's what he said.
So stupid. It's
Yeah.
on HBO or Netflix?
Netflix, Netflix,
Netflix.
Netflix. Yeah, Shane Gillis, Beautiful Dogs. But yeah, it's hilarious, but again, not for the thin skinned, right?
Mm.
You got to be able to enjoy yourself a little bit at your own expense. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then the last thing I watched, Blue Eye Samurai. So I know you
Okay.
started watching it too, right? When I
Yeah,
suggested,
I made it to episode 4. I started 4, but I didn't finish it.
okay, you know, it starts off pretty good, and then it has its lulls, right? Like it's good. I like the series, especially the fighting in it. It's just like, oh man, like it's all types of debauchery and like stuff in there. I'm just
Yeah.
like, oh man, like that's a bit much.
It's during the isolation period for Japan too, which I don't see a lot of material on. Like so like I'm the stuff they're saying about foreign, I was like, oh
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like they were for real. Like we don't want anybody
Yep,
that's not Japanese here. I was like, ooh,
yep. But no, it's a good series to watch. I would suggest people watch it, but like not around your children, not around your
Right.
children at all. Like there's all types of nudity and things of a sexual
But they
nature.
they warn you before it happens. Like, okay, they're heading toward brothel. So probably
Yeah,
cut this off now.
yeah. But even then, with like some of the language, right? Like I'm like I know they
Right.
didn't speak like this in Japan in the 1600s. You know what I mean? But still, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
they knew what these cuss words were back then. Come on, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, yeah. So,
Yeah,
what is it called? Colloquial or whatever. Like they had to make it make sense to us.
right, right, right. And they all speak English, right? So yeah,
Yeah.
it's not like it's subtitled or anything like that. But no, it's a good series, man. The fighting scenes are primo, man. It's just like, oh my gosh, right? Like I don't know. I don't know if it's kind of like John Wick. Like nobody is surviving this. There's
Yeah.
no way you go through all this and survive it. You know what I mean? But yeah, Blue Eye Samurai is the name of it, and like you haven't finished it yet, but there will be a second season. Like I'm just putting it out there. Like it's going to be a second season for it. So I can't wait. This is one of the few Netflix things I'm like, all right, I'm looking forward to. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
you that's just not the case for me. You know, with the series that they have, I'm like, you guys are just putting stuff out to put stuff out. You know what I mean? Like, I
So
don't know.
I heard somewhere that they're starting to stop doing that because of how much money they were losing. Like they can't do as many passion projects. They have to kind of tailor it down because like Amazon. Amazon has like two or three shows. That's it. They just like this is what we have.
From Netflix, like
Yeah, they
you
said that
know,
Netflix is starting to scale back because they can't spend millions of dollars on a movie that only a handful of people are going to stream.
right? Yeah, and like I believe it, right? And even the stuff that they get that's like from other production companies, like they're not getting good products or like good movies or anything. Like some of the stuff you're putting on there, I'm like, that was a terrible movie. Like, why did you put that on your streaming service? But
Yeah.
again, like I could be in the minority here, right? Like I'm like, oh, that was terrible. Like I've seen that, and then everybody else is like, oh, this is a classic. You know what I mean? It's like Nick Cage fans. They think he's good for some reason. Tell me why,
And
Ryan.
I don't know.
Make
I
it make
don't
sense to me,
know.
Ryan.
Like, what is it? Wicker Man
Puppies.
was terrible. Yeah, the terrible. Like, he was dressed as a bear and he socked that lady.
That's
Not promoting violence on people. I'm just saying it's a movie. It's funny.
I don't know. I don't get it.
Because I gotta watch Rainfield or whatever, the one where he's a vampire. I have to
Oh,
watch it. I just haven't made time for it yet.
Renfield.
Renfield. I have to watch it. It's a Nick Cage movie. I gotta see it.
I don't understand it, but he's getting love, so I
Yeah.
don't know. It's whatever. But but yeah, that was pretty much everything I watched, man. I got it was a good week of taking in material. Some good stuff, some man stuff in there,
Some
but
man stuff. Yeah.
yeah. But what
Gotcha.
about you, man?
So I always forget in this one. Please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Hit a bell. There's a bell involved. Like this one is the most engaged episode, so I always forget to tell people go back watch the other stuff um throughout the week because we drop 5 episodes a week, which production wise, not too bad, right? Like you always have something to listen to, and it's not very long. So check us out. But to what I was watching, so I finished Scavengers Reign, and it was exactly what I thought it was going to be. So it was an okay experience. Like you gotta get me at the end. Like I don't know. Like if the ending is just meh, it makes the whole other experience. It biases me to the all the rest of it. So they got me to where I thought they were going to be. They didn't surprise me. So there's that. Still, I really enjoyed the animation. I enjoy the amount of detail they put into all of the creatures, the fauna, and all that stuff. Like they really did a really good job of making a living, breathing world. So I do appreciate that. But when I repeat the show now. So now it's kind of like I think I gave it a B before. Now it's in like the C range. Like they got me on animation.
Glad I
The
stopped.
storyline fell off.
I'm glad I stopped then. Like if you were like, nah, not so much. I'm like, okay, if Ryan is not feeling it, I'm
Yeah,
definitely not feeling it.
because it ended the way it it was gonna end. Right? It's just like man, didn't really do it for me. Blue Eye Samurai, like I said, like you put me on the first episode, and I watched 3 episodes all in one sitting. Really good, really enjoying it. Like you said, the animation is like usually I don't like CG anime-ish stuff. Like either you give it to me hand drawn or you give it to me some other way. But beautiful job. Like you said, the fight scenes are on par. I always like the samurai scenes where they show them change their stances, like thinking about like what's gonna happen if I do this, what's gonna happen if I do that. So there is some of that in there too. So I'm like, okay, like I really am enjoying it. And so, I have to see how factual the story is. Like obviously it's not gonna be very factual, but just like Yusuke or Yasuke, however you pronounce it, the only black samurai, like this one is based on some kind of event. So I gotta kind of dig into that because they took artistic license with the Yusuke as well. Like that did not play out that way with the mech robots and other anime tropes, magic. So, but yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I like how they expound on some of the characters. Like I thought they were throwing away one of the guys we found out was not all that great of a person, and then they brought him back, and I was like, hey, it came full circle. I like that. Um, I also had to cut off like so the first episode has a trailer at the end of it to say, hey, like this is what's gonna happen and the rest of it. And it just kept going on and on and on. I was like, oh, wait a minute, you showing me too much stuff. I had to cut it off, skip to the next episode. Like that's too like don't give me all the information. Like let me have some surprises in there.
Surprise. Yeah.
Yeah, like that I forget what you call that. Like the trailer to show the future episodes, I forget what that's called, but like skip that because they're gonna give you way too much information. Um, what else did I watch? I watched Scavengers Reign. I watched Blue Eye Samurai. I watched something else. I can't remember what it was. But I did listen to something. Like we've been talking about this on and off for a while now. So I listened to the new Andre 3000 album with the flutes. Uh, I think it's overhyped. Like I think it's spa music, right? It's ambient music, but people are like going crazy. They're like somebody's going to like this is going to be an album that's going to be used by producers for like decades to come. There could be mad samples off of it. I don't hear it, but I also maybe I just don't have the palate for it. It's just like I can't sit in silence when I work. I have to have something on, typically something without words because it distracts me when I need to type stuff, write messages, stuff like that, because I'm too concentrated on rapping the lyrics or singing the lyrics. So I listen to beat instrumentals, I listen to ambient music, all that other good stuff, the lofi. So this one fits in there. So I've listened to it 3 times because I just cut it on the background, go about my business, do my work. That's what it's for, people. This is not like people are going wow. Like they like, oh, Three Stacks is back. Like, no, he's not. Like he did something. It's cool. He did something different, right? Like now he on Kenny G level. Kenny G music will be played forever. It is timeless. I get that, but it's not like a banger where I go back to him like, oh, I go listen to that Kenny G track. I don't know none of the names of the tracks. Never will. So I don't know. What are your feelings about this new Andre 3000 album?
I haven't listened to it. Like I've heard some samples of it, and I'm like, this ain't for me. Like this ain't
I
like
like if you're getting a massage, sure.
yeah. But like he was
You know what I
already
mean?
getting
Like
to the point, like when they did the dual album, what was it, Speaker Box and Love Below?
I
Like
actually like the album a lot.
I did not. I did not. Like Andre got weird. Like he was it seemed like he was always kind of weird. And we kind of talked about this offline, right? It was like I thought Erica Badu ruined him, right? It was my thinking.
Yeah,
Like, no,
nah, this is
I think
him.
he was always a weirdo, right? Like, and here's the thing, right? Like Key and Peele, we're gonna bring it up again. Like they knew, like they had a skit where they
Oh
talk,
man, it's so funny.
like, yeah, he's like, and he's like, why does your breath smell like bird seed? I was like, I believe that. I believe
He's like
100%.
Big Boy is just tired of him. Just like,
Yeah,
yo, why are we still friends?
yeah. Like, why did we do this? Like, how did we go in the same circles? You know what I mean? Like, and the thing is, like, neither one of them has said anything bad about the other. You know what I mean? It's not
No,
they
no,
have
no.
a
It's just
bad
like,
relationship. They
yeah,
just
I watched the interview not too long ago where basically Andre 3000 was like, we just hit a pinnacle. Like, we just can't produce something better than what we produce. So it's like that, and he's in his 40s. He's just like, what am I going to rap about?
mhm. Yeah. Yeah, he's got a
So
son that's going off to college, I want to say. Andre was
yeah,
talking about. Yeah. So like, I don't know, man. I to me, he's been a weirdo for a long time. And like weirdos are fine, you know what I mean? But like that, like to put it in your music like that, like it ain't for me. Like I don't. I don't need to hear it. You know what I mean? Like,
It's
what?
not your thing.
Yeah,
He's still one of the best lyricists of all time. I still put him up there. Like I don't know.
really.
Yeah, yeah. I'll put him in the top 10. Like if you
Ah,
throw him on a feature, he's still got it.
I don't know, man. I don't even know if he wants to do it now. Like that's the thing. Like with this last album, he talks about how he wanted to do something different. So that's why he's
Yeah.
flute and all these other, it's more jazz type stuff, right? But like I don't know about that.
I think he's still so because he has a couple of features over the past couple of years. I want to say he had one last year. He had something he jumped on. So because like after listening to that, I put on I Zoom just thought I gave a thumbs up. The Zoom AI has tripped me out. Um, I put on his essentials after that. I was like, oh, I gotta hear Andre 3000 pre-flute. After this, I need a palette cleanser from this instrumental album. He still got it, but it's about one, right? Like there's some rappers that should have retired a long time ago. I think he left. He's like the Jerry Seinfeld with George, where you leave on a high note. He left on a high note. He was like, this is as far as I'm gonna reach. I'm walking away. Like, and we see rappers do it all the time where they come back. They're like, nah, I still got it. Like, I think he still has something in the tank, and that's where he should stop. I don't
See,
think you should. I don't think you should start dropping whack album after whack album. I think they left with Speaker Box, but I thought it was a really good album. Like even for you, if it was mediocre, that's still better than anything that's been out in the past decade. There's
okay.
only a couple rappers right now, like Kendrick, J. Cole. That's it. Like people love Drake still.
I don't
I don't
know.
know what they see.
Yeah, like, here's the thing. Ever since Drake's ghostwriter has been discovered, like he's been terrible since then. I guess he's doing it on his own now. So like you need to hire another ghostwriter or something because you are terrible. But here's the thing: your Seinfeld comparison, like to me, I don't think it holds weight because I don't think he was the top of the game. Like Seinfeld was the best, like the most highly rated show at the time when he went off
Yeah,
the air, right? So like I don't think Andre was that. Like maybe he was, and I just don't know it. But maybe because he wasn't that great to me, you know what I mean? I'm
right.
just like he was not at the top. Like he was maybe 15. Like if I was to look, you know what I mean? Like I don't
You're
know.
not in the top 10.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not. I don't get it. You know what I mean? Because like, and here's the thing, I'm gonna say this, and I'm probably gonna catch hell for this too, right? But like Eminem, even right, like when he got clean, when he got sober, like it was not the same.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what I
Well,
mean?
we've talked about that before.
Yeah,
Like I hate to say it, but artists when they're at their worst drop the best
yeah.
stuff, and
That's
that's
the thing.
terrible.
Yeah,
Like, because we want them to be healthy, right? But then they're like they should start out healthy maybe, and then work their way to
to the bottom.
I guess I don't know because yeah, like Eminem stuff when he was not healthy is way better than current Eminem stuff, which
Yeah,
is terrible because I want Eminem to not be sick. But
I don't know.
same thing with like singers, like just artists in general, like for whatever reason when they're at their bottom, they release the best stuff, but then some people don't recover, right? You have your Kurt Cobains, you have your Amy Winehouses. You're like, oh, that's tragic. So, but yeah, I completely 100% agree with you, and it is terrible. But yes,
But
their best stuff is at their worst,
but that helps the legacy if they die young, right? Like or if they die before their
which
time.
is terrible, right? Because
See,
I think some rappers, like I'm not going to put it out there, but I'm not going to drop any names. But I think some rappers get a pass because they died in their prime. They're still releasing music and be trash right now.
I was gonna put it out there. I'm not
I will never say those names.
I'm
You
not
would
gonna
not.
put it out
I
there.
would not be recorded.
Yeah, so yeah, you're right. You're right. I should keep it. You know, I should keep
But they get a pass because
it.
they did die young and in their prime, which is and that's unfortunate, right? But I think if they continued to it, like they'd be just like well, they might not be just like Andre 3000. He's very
Unique in
unique.
his yeah.
They wouldn't be dropping flute albums, but
Yeah.
they wouldn't have anything to rap about.
I don't even know if it's that they wouldn't have anything to rap about. I think it would just be that people would catch on eventually, right? It's like, what was I listening to you for? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, and yeah, I there's one in particular I'm thinking about that I'm just like, I was never a fan of his, and then died, and I'm just like, I'm still not a fan. You know what I mean? But I'll listen to you because you're featured on this. You know what I mean? I like
Right.
this. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I don't know. Some people, it's just what it is now. I think people just want to have something to rally around. So when these people die, they're just like, oh, they're greatest of all time. Like all of a sudden, you'll see all these tributes, greatest of all time,
Yeah.
R.I.P. This, that, and the third. And I'm like,
Or you hear about a artist, like you'll hear about them after they died, which is super sad. Like you'll be like, oh, I never even heard of this person before, and now here's an album, and then maybe they have some more material in the can, right? Because for I guess artists, they generate so much material, but then yeah, they would be tragically lost before they even have a chance to be a star, and then they become a star after their death. But was it really good? You
yeah.
know what I mean? Or was it a little bit of more like the fanfare comes in because of the tragic loss? So that's interesting though. I wonder if somebody should be doing a study of this, right? Because yeah, if you live forever, your music will eventually not be great. So at least in my opinion.
The newer Michael wasn't the great, the one as good as the old Michael. I'm just saying, Michael
Yeah.
Jackson, the old stuff, still hot. You know what I mean? But the newer stuff is kind of like, I don't know, Mike. I don't know if you're as dangerous. But
Right. Right. No, that's very true. But yeah, so he's gotten 3 listens out of me. Like I'll keep him in a rotation for ambient sounds or whatever. Like sometimes I need something with some tempo. Remember, like we used to write evals. Like that's why I need something with some hard hitting instrumentals, right? When I'm writing those when I was writing those evals. But nowadays, like if I'm going through an assessment, like I throw on some flute music. Sure, why not?
I don't mind the words though. That's where I'm different. Like I get what you're saying though, because like when I am listening to it, like sometimes I'll get lost because I'm like, oh man, I just said that hot line. You know what I mean? I was like,
Yeah.
did I just type that out? Like, no, I don't want that in there. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. So like, you don't want the distraction of having, hearing the lyrics and
Yeah.
whatnot. For me, I'm like, hey, what's good is good. You know what I mean? Just I mean,
Right, right. But yeah, I usually like it. And then it ramps up throughout the day. Like if I start my day out, it might start with some Miles Davis or something like that. Some like smooth jazz, work its way up. I don't want to hear too much. I hate talk radio. So that's why I don't listen to talk radio either. Like I listen to it in the car when I'm taking my youngest to school because he enjoys the music that they do play. But they talk too much. Like, I don't want to hear all that. Just play the music. So like when I'm at home, just give me the instrumental so I can get through this report. But yeah, because the words do distract me, especially if it's like if I'm listening to a really good old album, I'm like, ah man, it's not helping me out, my report. But nothing movie wise. There's a Netflix movie coming out. I'm waiting on. It's another disaster flick. Like they just do it for me. I watch those every time they drop one. All right, like I'm the dude they wrote Bird Box for. It's me. So there's a new disaster one coming out with Sandra Bullock as well. No idea. Like the trailer give me no premise of what's happening. It's just people talking and then meteors dropping and cars blowing up. I have no clue what's happening. Could be an invasion, could be an attack. I don't know. Could be a natural
why?
disaster. I have to see it because they had the one with Russell Crowe. I don't know if you saw that one. I think that was Netflix. It could have been a different one, but it was a natural disaster, right? Like everybody's TVs flipped to the national disaster thing, and there's a meteor coming, and they had to get to the shelters. It just does it for me. I
I
like to
don't know,
watch the
man.
apocalypse
Like
on
if
TV.
if you're not telling me what it is in the trailer, like you're wasting time for an hour and a half at that point.
I will find out as it happens. Like, but it's like that with Annihilation. That movie was not great though. Um,
Is that the one with
with
Michael Pena?
no, Annihilation's with Tessa Thompson was in it, and the main character, what was her name? She used to be uh she played in Star Wars, the new ones. Not the newest ones, but the ones that everybody hates, the episodes that came out. And she was the
Daisy Ridley?
hmm?
Daisy Ridley?
No, before that. The not the original, but then the
Oh,
episodes
episode
after that.
one, two, and three.
Yes.
The princess.
Yes, what's her name? I'm terrible with names.
Not Hathaway.
Natalie
Portman.
Portman.
Natalie
Natalie
Portman.
Portman. Yeah,
Yeah.
so Natalie Portman was in Annihilation. It's not a good movie at all. But they got me on that. They got me on the trailer. The trailer was like, "What is happening? Like, why is everybody dying? Why is that bear making human noises?" There actually is a bear in there that, like, you know how animals evolve to better domesticate themselves. So this bear was able to sound like a person, and you're like, "Is that you, April, or whatever?" It was like, "Nope, it was a bear." It was like, "Ah!" Struck her away.
That sounds awful. That's
It's hilarious. I was
yeah.
like, it evolved to trap humans better by sounding like a human. I love it. Uh,
See, and this is what kills me, right? Is like there's so much stuff out there like that. Like, okay, you're gonna watch it, right? But like for me, I'm like, you're not putting any real effort in anything. Like they're just trying to do weird stuff. To me, it just seems like they're trying to be weird to be weird.
to
You
be
know?
weird, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't want that. Like, give me like as much as I say I don't want story and I want shoot 'em up. Like, if it's supposed to be a story, give me a story, right? Like, if I watch it because there's supposed to be a story, give it to me. Don't
I
make
actually,
it.
yeah.
Un-
Don't make me wait to the very end to figure out what the thing
yeah,
is. Guess that's Bird Box, and you still don't find out what the thing is. But now they're doing spin-offs to Bird Box where they're filling in the gaps. Like I think I just watched one that was in Barcelona. So they kind of figure out like more of what's happening, but not really, right? So to get you to the next one, they got me on that one. That was not good, but that's
I'm
that's my thing. I love dystopia products. I love apocalypse movies, like all the stuff I don't want to happen in real life, but I want to see on the screen. Love it. Um, there was another one. I can't remember the name of it, but there's another one coming out, which is the same premise. Like something's happening, but you don't know what's happening. It'll come back to me. It's not Netflix though. It's a different. I think it's like HBO Max or something. Or I'm sorry, just Max. There's no HBO in there anymore. But yeah, man, that's like my thing. That now apparently flute music, timeless Andre 3000 album.
you came off a vacation too. Did you enjoy yourself?
I did, I did. Me and the family got went to Jamaica for the first time. Beautiful country, really nice people. Um, it's pretty much like the ads. Remember the old come to Jamaica ads?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
it. Yeah, like legitimately nailed it. Like that is Jamaica. We stayed on resort. Um,
See Jamaica smiling, one love.
Yeah, yeah. Like there's a dude on the pier. Like he was a vendor though. Like, but they had him out there and he was singing. Like, oh, dude, he's like it really felt like the ad. Then when we would go outside to do our excursions or whatever, um, traffic wasn't as crazy as I thought it would be. Right? I've been to a lot of different places that they all drive terribly. The only orderly traffic I've ever seen was Germany, and then second to that is the U.S. Everybody else is just doing whatever they want to do. You know, there's no care in the world to signs and speeds and things. They just let's not die and get to point A to point B, and that's it. That's the only rule of the road. Jamaica was pretty crazy in that they're very calm, relaxed people until they get on the road. Then it's a race to get into the next destination. So there's a lot of cutting each other off and speeding, driving on the wrong side of the road to get to the destination. But it was not the worst. So I was like, man, I could live with this. But yeah, all in all, like I would go back. Like, and it's not that far away. Like I didn't realize how close Jamaica was to the States. So that also blew my mind. I want to say
Well,
from Puerto,
you're in one of the southernmost states too, so you didn't have far to go from where you are
right?
already.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So I will go back because that was a very short trip and not very expensive. So that's my
That's always
Jamaica review.
that's always a good thing if you ain't got to pay a lot of money for it. It's like, yeah, I'm down.
Yeah, yeah,
You went the route of taking the whole family though. Like next time I vacation, I don't think I want them kids around. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like
yeah. They had a good time though.
I enjoyed Hawaii where it was just me and the wife. I was like, I think I could do this a little bit more, even though I miss my kids. Like I don't want them around all the time. You know what I mean? So
Right. You just yeah. Sometimes you just want the one-on-one time.
yeah.
So I would do Hawaii. I just think like so for me, like Jamaica being so close, that Hawaii trip's gonna be man. Like it still wouldn't be the longest trip I've taken, right? It's not like me going to Africa or something like that for work, back when I was active. But now I feel kind of spoiled. So like I would have to fly all the way to the West Coast and then all the way from the West Coast to Hawaii. That's
Yeah.
got to be in a double digits, right? That's got to be like a 20-hour trip, I would think.
Well, I mean, it depends. So, like me flying I flew out of Denver when we did it. It was like 7 hours getting there, right? But like if you're
Yeah.
going from you're on the East Coast, right? Like the Southeast Coast.
Southeast.
You know what I
I'm the
mean?
furthest away from California possible.
Yeah. So they might take you to like LAX or like maybe even Seattle or something and then
Yeah,
fly you out, right? But and Hawaii is expensive. It is not cheap. So like what the prices you get used to dealing with Jamaica, don't
yeah.
expect that for Hawaii.
Right, right. And I was seeing some like because they've been independent since the 62 or whatever. So you see like some of the villas and stuff like that are owned by like the rich people that bought like the best premium land or whatever. But all the land looked really good. And you just see like houses that were in the process of being built. So I went to Zillow, right? Or I forget, it wasn't Zillow, it was something else to look at how much the house costs. But you're buying the house plus land, and it's so cheap comparatively. Like, yeah, it's still in the hundreds of thousands or whatever, but you're getting acres. Like I saw one that was like like I saw a house that was in development. I was like, okay, let me check it out. It was like the house plus 160, or what was it? Was it 16,000 or was it 160,000 uh, um, square feet? I think it was 160,000 square feet plus house was less than buying a house here in the States. I don't even know how many acres that is, but that's a lot of land. And it was not, it was like right there by the water because everything is like on the coast, right? For all of our trip purposes, that's not bad. So I was like, man,
The only thing you have to worry about though is hurricane season, right? So like how hard are they getting hit every hurricane?
yeah, that I have no idea. Like, maybe that's why a lot of stuff was under development because you start to build or whatever and then it gets wrecked.
Yeah.
So that I have no clue. But and that and I've never been to and this, I'm getting off on a tangent, but when I would travel to like the Middle East, North Africa, Europe, you see a lot of colorism like here in the States, where you have the people with the fairer skin are the ones who are the people who are at the front desk. And then as you get closer to like housekeeping and cooking and stuff like that, you start to see people who look like what you would thought would be there when you got there. Like that's like Morocco, right? Like not to pick on a particular country, but like my stay there, I saw a lot of people who looked like me, but they weren't in pristine positions, right? So I was like, oh, it's colonialism at its peak. Or I was just in the area that was at. So like don't bad. I'm not trying to bash Morocco. Like I've been there 4 times. Like great people. Um, Jamaica, everybody looked like me. Like everybody. Like they worked in all different like because it's all hospitality, right? Like they say 85% of the gross product and the people are all based on tourism, right? That's their lifeblood is tourism. And like everybody, all shapes, sizes, colors, all that good stuff, like everywhere. Like it didn't feel like there was any real separation. I'm sure every country has that of some sort or whatever, but it's the first time I had that experience. I was like, okay, that is pretty cool. Like one dude, I think he was making a joke, but like until I opened my mouth, he was like, I thought you were Jamaican. I don't think I look Jamaican, but I was like, so we kind of laughed about it, and then he asked where I was from, and then I had my Bills, because I just got there, so I kind of came off the plane, so I had my Bills hoodie on or whatever. He was like, yeah, DeMar Hamlin. So he was like, he knew the Bills, he knew about all that stuff as well, right? Um, so I was like, okay, so we had a cool conversation, but yeah, like, so it feels like I could blend in if I went there. So. But yeah, it was my Jamaican experience. So there you go. Crystal clear water, blue water, all that good stuff. Nice people, fairly inexpensive. So everybody should go check it out.
When you sent that picture of the view on the beach with your feet out,
With my
I
feet
was
out.
like, oh yeah, you enjoying life, man.
Yeah, it was a
Enjoying
good
life.
time. Good time. My wife did all the planning and the booking and all that stuff, so she did an excellent job. So shout out to her. I just showed up. So, but I think that pretty much does it for this episode. Jamaica did not sponsor this one, but if you would like to, Jamaica, you want to do some One Love commercials on the podcast. No, but
Change,
all seriousness.
change the music up in the beginning.
Yeah. Or
One
reggae type
love,
vibe. Yeah.
one love. Let's get together.
So, but yeah, so please continue to like, share, subscribe if you made this far. You're definitely a fan of the show. So keep doing what you're doing. Please share it with your nerdy friends. Hit us up on all the websites that go by our name. You give me a personally, I'm at RyRy Security Guy. That's RYRY Security Guy. You can find me on LinkedIn, Clubhouse, Twitter, and Threads. Stay safe, stay secure.